All right, class. I just wanted to do a quick thing on LP7. Just want to make sure people are doing okay on this. Main thing I've noticed so far grading a couple of these is questions 3, 4, and 5. You're always looking at hours worked per week, so you need to have you have to filter for employed persons. The first two questions you're not going to filter employed. You're just going to look at U.S. born 20 to 21-year-olds. What's happening is, I can show you what's going on here. We need to know the percent that are employed. So we want the level of interest to be the percent employed. So for instance, I think people are struggling a little bit with 2 and a little bit with 4, and I'm not sure about 5 because I haven't seen enough people that did 5, but there's 2 videos that help with 5. So you should just watch these videos and you'll get 5 down, no problem. Now, let's just make sure we're good on this. So if you're having trouble on 2 and 4, I would say just go back and watch this video right here on page 6, because this goes through everything that you need for a 3-variable analysis. But I'll go back and I'll show you real quickly what we're looking at here, what we're trying to do. So I'm not going to get the right data. I'm just going to filter some. Well, I guess I do have 20 to 21-year-olds right now in my sample, and I have employed. I actually didn't create my school thing yet, so I don't know. Do I need to? Let's just I'm not going to get the right numbers, but I'm just going to compare like private and not in school. Or let me do that the opposite way. Let me do public and not in school. So I'm missing out on the private students, but now I got these 20 to 21-year-olds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make contingency table. So when you're doing this analysis, if you look back on this, we're looking at employment status, and we're going to try to look at comparison. So when I do this, my first one I'm looking at is school enrollment's my row, but I'm going to do school enrollment binary. You are. I don't have the variable made, sorry. And then for column, we're going to do employment status. And then we always do row percents. So this would be this is basically question number 2, although like yours will be off because I got public, so I didn't combine public and private. But we're noticing, if you're not in school, 65% of those people are employed versus 43%. It's actually not as big as you would think. It's only a 20 percentage point difference. I would have expected if you're not in school, you should be working. But a lot of them are still not in the labor force, 24%. And unemployment's pretty high at 10%. So this is the first one. And you can make this, once you make the table, you can also make the bar chart that corresponds with it. The bar chart, just so people are having trouble with the bar chart, is the variable is now the employment status. The response variable always goes here, and then the group by is your school enrollment. And then you're going to do stack relative frequencies and flip the coordinates. When you generate that, you should see it looks very similar. It has 2 rows. This has 2 rows. We can read the data here. So we got 43%. That's the 43%. Here's the 65%, 65%. Now, I cannot do question 2 bar chart through here because I'm only allowed to use 2 variables in the bar chart. So I'm going to go back to the contingency table. I'm going to add in sex here. So now I got 3 variables: explanatory, response, explanatory. I'm going to generate. And when I get this, what I can see here is, I don't want to filter employed. I want to know what percent of those females that are not in school were employed. What percent of those females who were in school were employed? What percent of males not in school were employed? What percent of males that were in school were employed? Those are the numbers that I want. So the numbers I'm going to grab these employed numbers. So let me grab these. So I'm going to grab the employed digits, and I'm going to put them into my drive. I'm going to go into Google Drive. I'm going to open up this Google Sheet. I'm going to paste these digits in here. I'm going to shrink them so I can see them. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to do not in school. This is my 2x2 table. This is in school. And then I'm going to have female and male. And I'm going to put in each cell, I'm going to put the percent that are employed. So you're going to do the exact same analysis for question 4. Okay, so for when you get to question 4, it's going to be the percent that are doing 30 hours a week or more. And this one, though, remember, you have to filter employed. And then you're going to find out what percent. So you're going to make a table just like this, but instead of employment status, you're going to do your binned hours worked, and then you're going to be putting in the percent 30 or more hours a week. So here I go. Females not in school, 68.2% of them are employed. Females in school, 46.8%. Males not in school, 63.6%. Males not in school, 40.4%. So right off the bat, when you look at this, you're like, what's going on here? And again, these are not the right numbers because I did not combine public and private. So I get this bar chart. It's fine like this. I typically like my stuff vertical. I usually like to customize these by adding in data labels. And then I just look at this and say, oh man, it's pretty interesting that, not real big differences between men and women. We definitely see that for both men and women, if you're not in school, you're more likely to be working if you're in school than if you're not, than if you're in school. But we do see within each subcategory of in school, we see that females have a higher proportion of them in school than men, 40 versus 47%, 68 versus almost 64. The difference gets a little smaller when we're looking at not in school. They're both pretty close to each other, only 4% or whatever, 4.6 percentage points off. Here it's 6.4. I mean, there's really not that much of a difference. We do see a general trend. This one looks like a little bit bigger of a difference. Females are more likely to be working while in school than the men in our sample. So I hope that helps you on the assignment. I'd really like you guys to get this assignment done so you can start working on the project. Some of you weren't in class this week, so it's going to take you some time. You want to put a title on these too. Like, these titles are never really right. So you want to say this is the percent employed for 20 to 21-year-olds. Okay, well, that's just my little hint for today. I just wanted to help you out on this assignment. Take care, everyone.